respirator, my glove. All this kind of took a lot out of me, and took a lot out of the broom too. Well, it appears I have a roommate. Hello, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the mountains and to this old barn, which is going to end up being a shop for restoring vintage travel trailers. Right now, it's just a huge problem. If you're not up to speed on the journey so far, I will link videos in the description that show not only how I got here and some background on this site itself, but also a detailed walkthrough of what's going to need to be done. So check out those videos, get yourself up to speed, and then get yourself ready for the cleanup. There's a lot to do in here. Let's get started. Well, top to bottom, we got a lot of issues to take care of here. I'm just gonna start at the top and work my way to the floor and then get everything out after that. I've got my respirator, my glove, a broom, shovel. First thing we're gonna do is open up the big barn doors so that we get a lot of ventilation in here, because things are gonna get awful dusty. It's best to keep as much fresh air going through here as possible. So one thing I found over here is gonna be helping out is a broom. Perfect. Well, it appears I have a roommate. This little bat here. Whoa, looks like he lives up in there. Well, every shop needs a pet, right? So I guess Bella is gonna be mine. Okay, well, there's one half done anyway. All of the debris has been taken off the walls, off of the surfaces, and now it's just all over the floor. And now we are going to move on to this. Dun dun dun! So all this kind of took a lot out of me, and took a lot out of the broom too. Both sides of the shop have been pretty cleaned out. So looking really good, nice and clean. And now it's time to go after this pile of dirt, get it out of here. I'm kind of curious to see what's underneath it. The dirt has been scooped out, and the floor is a little rotten there because of the dirt. Every time I take a shovelful out of here, a little more comes in, and unfortunately, I think I know why. We come around here to the back side of the shop. As you can see, the hillside behind the shop is coming down and resting against the back side of the shop wall. And that is why there is dirt coming into the shop. The only way around that is to dig a trench out behind the shop itself to keep the dirt from coming in. Okay, so I've dug down in the corner about 1.5 feet, 2 feet, and I think I found the bottom because this little hose is coming out right here. Then we'll see right where that hose is coming from. So this is where the pile of dirt was, and I dug it out, and here is the hose. So this actually has water still hooked up to it, and I think this is probably the site of a mud sink. Wasn't here when I was here, but it's probably the side of a mud sink. And you can see at floor level, that hose is sticking out to drain. So technically, that's as far down as I need to dig on the outside, but I'm gonna stay where I'm at, go a little bit deeper, just so that if anything happens, you know, dirt does bypass whatever I'm gonna shore it up with. It takes a while for it to get to the shop itself. So the trenching is pretty much done, and now I just need to shore up what I've dug out. You can see I got down here to the level of the floor, all the way around the building and around the corner. Now that I've got it trenched, I need to keep the dirt from going back in there, and I'm going to create a bit of a barrier there. And I've got some big pieces of wood, things like that, that I can put in there, but I also want to drive some supports down in ahead of those to keep the dirt from just pushing it over. I'd rather that not be wood. So what I've done is scavenge around to see, because there's so much around here, so many things, that I figured there's got to be some metal, and I did find some over here. So in the last video, we came through the forest here and we found one of the old glass racks from the trucks. And across the top of these are these metal bars. They're welded on, but I did find one that had come loose when the top collapsed over time, and I was able to get it off of there. So here is the piece of metal that I found. It's 6 feet long, and that's exactly what I needed because I wanted something about 3 feet long, 2 of them. And so if I can cut this in half, I'm home free. Trouble right now is that it's got this bend in it. I need to fix that. And I think I found just the place to do it. Voila. Sometimes you just got to make do with what you have. Okay, there we have it. That's about as straight as I need to get it for now. It'll serve my purposes just fine. So now my problem is I have to cut that piece of pipe. Now, I do have a grinder, but there is no electricity to the shop as yet. And I do not want to go after this thing with a hacksaw at all. Okay, I think we're done for the day. As you can see, I finished off here, and what I did was I did a little terracing of this so that it will be twice as hard for dirt to run down into this area and build up against the shop again. I was able to use some of the material that we found on this rack the other day. There's plenty of it here, and there was a length of it that was perfect, so it fit right along here, and it is great. I also found some brick I put down here, so when I do utilize the water and this drain hose for a mud sink in the shop, when it drains out, it'll drain onto the brick, not onto the dirt, and then erode it away. It'll just let it hit hard surface and just sort of dissipate. And that's where we're at for today. Thanks for watching. Like the video, check out the videos before this so you can see how we got to this point, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything as we try and get this old barn into a shop to restore vintage trailers. We'll see you next time. I'm glad you're here.